The 37th presidential election took place on November 7th, 1972. Richard Nixon was acting like a bad boy. I mean, he was pretending to. He was trying to make the Soviet Union and North Vietnam think twice before doing anything strange. Really, Nixon wanted the Vietnam War, but Nixon made the conflict even worse after he bombed Cambodia, leading to the rise of a group called the Khmer Rouge seeking power in 1975, which I mentioned this bad boy right here. Anyways, Nixon found it very hard and difficult to bring all the troops home, but still, day by day, many troops were coming back home, and Nixon began sending CIA people to communist countries to disrupt and overthrow them. Nixon began advocating for a policy called détente with the Soviet Union. Détente basically meaning easing relations between two countries. And the economy was rebounding under Nixon, and he was easily renominated, with his Vice President Spiro Agnew also renominated. Many Democrats tried going for the nomination, and let's go through them, shall we? Edmund Muskie, a senator from Maine, and Hubert Humphrey's running mate in 1968. Hubert Humphrey, the former vice president, Shirley Chisholm, a representative from New York and the first African-American woman to run for a major party, George Wallace, the governor of Alabama, and finally, George McGovern, the leading anti-war candidate and senator from South Dakota. Now, originally Edmund Muskie was the favorite for the nomination, but after a good smear campaign made him look like he was crying, he didn't know how to handle it and his polls dramatically went down. Now, George Wallace was surprisingly doing well in the polls, but he was shot multiple times, making him paralyzed from the waist down, cementing the end to his presidential campaign. Originally, the Democrat establishment wanted Hubert Humphrey to be the nominee, but he'll probably lose again. But going into the convention, it was George McGovern, and he won the most delegate votes. And ever since then, the McGovern Commission, the principle that the most with the most delegate votes becomes the nominee. And this is the same role ever since. And he picked Thomas Eagleton, a senator from Missouri, as his running mate. But Eagleton had health concerns, and he dropped out. And later, McGovern picked Sergeant Stryver, a ambassador to France and the brother-in-law to the Kennedys, as his running mate. Just like Barry Goldwater in 1964, McGovern was portrayed as a radical. Critics say his views on the Vietnam War was unrealistic. I mean, he did call for a minimum income for the poor. And so, the moment you've been all waiting for, the results. Drum roll, please. Richard Nixon destroyed George McGovern, winning 520 electoral votes and 60.7% of the popular vote. McGovern only won 17 electoral votes and only 37.5% of the popular vote. Richard Nixon won, remaining the 37th President of the United States.